Hello, it's August now, which means Art Fight is over. It's done. We finished it. We won. And by we won, I mean we won because we participated. I have no idea which team won. I don't think anybody knows that yet. I figured I'd start off showing you which characters I had on my featured card, and then I'd show you a little snippet of the kind of art that I draw. This is some of the stuff that I have drawn in the last year or so that I am particularly proud of. A lot of it is for my world building project, Knights of Nod, but I also do other fun stuff. You can see that my comfort zone is definitely anthropomorphic characters, furries with humanoid bodies, but I am trying to work on stuff outside of that, and I do draw other stuff as well. So let's look at the stuff that I drew for Art Fight. I believe I did these in roughly chronological order. This character's name is Tricky, drawn for Calico Coyote. This is one of the ones I drew in the car on the drive from the old city that we moved to the new city that we moved to. I had a lot of fun drawing this character. The color palette really appealed to me, as did the sort of like David Bowie-esque vibes I got from the art. I don't know how I picked that up, but I did, so I sort of went for it with the background, did little lightning bolts. That's probably where I got the vibe from the character, as little lightning bolt markings, and I did my little rainbow outline that I do for all my Art Fight attacks, and that is that Art Fight attack done. This one is Stella Fahrenheit, which I drew for Defang. It's an anthropomorphic character, but not in the way you would normally think of one. She is an anthropomorphic star, and she gets drawn a lot with her companion who doesn't like her very much, Loon, so I included him in the background as well. I didn't have any particular theme or type of character in mind when I was picking characters. I just searched for words that I like, and one of the things that I like that was a word that I searched is stars. I just like the shape of stars, so there's a star-shaped character for you. Now, one mistake that I did make this year that I also made last year was drawing characters for people who aren't actually doing Art Fight, or accidentally drawing characters that are hidden, because I pick most of my characters to draw in the month before July, and sometimes people hide their characters last minute when they realize that they don't have time to update their characters. I remember that this character's name is Taro. I don't remember the person's username. I'll put it up on the screen, but Purple Boba Dragon, right before I came to learn that Purple Taro Boba is basically my favorite thing in the world, so it was meant to be, I think. That was from searching for the word dragon, and this was for the searching for the word thylacine. So Chai belongs to Critterly and is half cat, half thylacine. I didn't do as many of these, like, quote-unquote easy to bust out bust shots because I just had less overall time to do Art Fight this year because we were moving. So I mostly concentrated on, like, more detailed drawings, more full body drawings, spending more of my time on less characters, if you know what I mean. But this was one of the fun bust shots that I got done in more quote-unquote simple drawing. If I had 2 nickels for every time I've drawn a character named Funfetti, I'd have 2 nickels. It's kind of a meme on Art Fight that worm on a string. I don't know exactly where the joke came from, but it's sort of an inside joke. The Discord has worm on a string emotes, and I like the worm on a string toy. I too am subject to nostalgia, so I went ahead and looked up some worm on a string characters. I think this one actually came up when I searched for cake, which made me realize, hey, I should draw some worm on a strings. So there you go, 2 birds, 1 stone. This lovely character, and I'm going to give you a fear of clowns warning. If you're afraid of clowns, look away until I'm done talking about this character, is Bon Bon. They belong to Hachi Art, I believe is how you would say their username. They are a VTuber, and they have lots of fun outfits, but of course, when one of the outfits is an EGL themed outfit, that is the one that I'm going to pick to draw. It doesn't matter that all the little details are going to make me go back and forth and add them in as I forget them, because it is a fun time to draw this kind of fashion and this kind of character. So yes, there you go, a Lolita clown. This character is So this character is for Sinisiri, and the character's name is Sipuli. I don't know if I pronounced either of those things right. I had this character bookmarked since last year, and I just thought it was really charming. A little bunny with a shrimp sushi tail. I thought that was too cute to resist, and so this year I did not have to resist. I made time to draw the character. Very good. Excellent color palette. Love it. One of the other things I searched for was Neopets, and this is, once again, a person that was not taking part in Art Fight. Oops. The character's name is Sherbert, and I drew them for Via Voxel, and they haven't checked their messages, so I don't know that they even know that I drew their character, but maybe someday they will get to see her and all of her pastel, wonderful rainbow glory. This one, the background really threw me for a loop, but then I was like, you know what? Let's just repeat that marking motif in the background and give it some shadow, and there you go, a cool Neopet. Now, I grew up in the era of Sparkle Dogs. I was there for maybe not their birth, but their very early life. I even have a character that was meant to be a Sparkle Dog, and I didn't make him look ridiculous enough, so I definitely had to take my chance to draw a very silly, wonderfully ridiculous, detailed Sparkle Dog. This is Aero for Wolfie Wings, and what a lovely, again, color palette. You people are so talented at picking colors. Teach me your ways. So this is Honeydew for Sukari Dragon. Sorry, I'm so bad at reading things online and then not practicing how to pronounce them out loud. The character is a full anthropomorphic character, but I wanted to play at sort of chibifying a furry, which makes sort of, you draw them sort of feral when you do that, or at least I do. Translating the markings was really interesting. I really liked this like watermelon themed dragon dinosaur character, and I had a lot of fun turning them into this little bean. 10 out of 10 would share my watermelon with them. Now this is for Wooden Wren of their character Watchpoint, and I don't know what it was about Watchpoint, but they gave me all of the smug. So when I drew him, I was like, you know what? She needs to look as smug as possible. So that is what I did. I drew it with the smuggest expression I could. I love the comment that the creator gave me on this, is that they are serving Whoopi Goldberg, and I agree. I don't know how I managed to pull that off on an anthropomorphic raccoon, but I did. Again, I'm in awe of this color palette. Maybe that was the hidden theme, was picking characters with color palettes I liked, and maybe I didn't even realize I was doing it. Now, this is the third and final time I made this mistake. This is Dainty Worm, who I drew for L'Oreal Kirsch. I don't know how to pronounce your username. I'm so sorry. It will be on the screen. I messaged them and I was like, oops, I drew your character, and they've been hidden between now and last month. Where would you like me to send you the drawing? And they were like, do you want me to just reactivate the character for you? And I was like, that would be great. And then I can submit it as an attack. And they did. And here they are. Dainty Worm. Very dainty. Very good colors. That must have been the theme. I didn't even realize it. This is Cone Man for Snappy Sar. I don't even know what to say. He's just a little anthropomorphic ice cream cone, and I'm in love because sprinkles and ice cream as a little creature, and they want to share their sprinkles with you. Now, I saved hitting a few of my favorite artists for last, and oh boy, am I glad that I did, because I was able to dedicate lots of time and love to this horrible, horrible little man. This is Ambrose, who belongs to Aquilo. If you are not following the comic of him and his world companions, I would suggest looking him up, because I want to kiss him. I want to kiss him on the snoot, and then I would like to punch him in the mouth. He is a very hateable, very lovable character, like, just a horrible little man, like I said. This one in the background I struggled with quite a bit. I needed something fancy but not distracting, so I went and found some, like, royal wallpaper textures and did that in there, and here we have him, the final bastard. There he is. Regrettably, I love him. Coming up next year, we have Herman for Greek Celtic. Herman is yarn. He has a couple of different puppets in a couple of different AU forms, and I was originally going to draw Dragon Herman, but then I realized I don't think I've ever seen anybody draw fan art of Yarn Herman, and I love drawing weird spindly ribbons. That seemed like a fun challenge, so I drew the yarn version of Herman. This form of him reminds me a lot of a character of mine, so it was interesting to take a character of mine that's like black and white and very stark, and then draw something sort of similar with obnoxious, wonderful rainbows. So there we have him, Herman, in his real form. Speaking of world building projects you should be following, Dime Spins is one of those. This is Wax Poetic as all elf. This is Wax Poetic as all else in life wanes, also known as wax. There are many words in this world building project I'm not sure how to pronounce, and Magiphage is one of them. That is the type of creature that Wax is. And Wax really loves coffee, and isn't the kind of creature that would be, found having a job. So not exactly the kind of creature that can always pay for the coffee that he wants to drink. So, you left your coffee on the table and you weren't really gonna finish this, were you? Because Wax has got it covered for you. Wax's weird noodly body was surprisingly challenging to draw, and he has very simple shapes, but sort of difficult to get those correct. But I think I nailed the spirit of the character, which is really all we're going for in this project. And, here he is. You weren't going to drink the coffee, right? Right? You were done with it? This is Bip. Bip belongs to Jay Rockin and is from the project Runaway to the Stars, which is one of my favorite things on the internet right now. If you like queer identity, if you like found family, if you like sci-fi, if you like speculative biology, you're gonna love Runaway to the Stars. Bip is a hyper-intelligent AI with a lot of their own personality. They pilot the Runaway, the ship that is the titular Runaway to the Stars in the title of the thing. Wanted to come up with a reason to draw all of their little avatars, and Mandala was what I came up with. And last but certainly not least, a thylacine to wrap us up. An undead thylacine at that. This is DT, drawn for a mutual of mine, Zombie Hamster. I drew something for them last year, and I had to do something for them this year, and I liked this character best of the ones I hadn't drawn so far, so there she is. So now that we've gone over what I drew this year, to talk about my experience with Art Fight this year. This year was really interesting. So it was my second year doing Art Fight. Last year, I really learned a lot. I went from being it takes me several days to complete a sketch kind of artist to the sketch is just an outline, just use it to get your basic idea down and then move on with your life kind of artist, which I really appreciate. It really improved my art skills overall. This year was a little bit different. We were relocating to a city that is completely different to any city I've ever lived in before. Also, my life is very, very different from how it was last year, just personally. Last year I got 19 defenses. This year I got 7? Yeah, 7. And then last year most of my attacks were of my fursona, and this year most of my attacks were of this character, Tipsy Whipsy. I had a suspicion that the most simple characters would get the most attacks when you're not a first-year art fighter. And despite advertising myself way, way more this year, I just got attacked way fewer times, and I don't really know why. I had, I would say, overall slightly less fun than I had last year, not because I got fewer attacks, but just because I didn't have as much time to just spend July only doing Art Fight. I was doing lots of other stuff, which is okay, because I had fun doing all of the other stuff. Well, not all of the other stuff, but a lot of the other stuff that I was doing was also fun. I was doing more life enrichment activities, less sitting in my apartment alone by myself. This year I also used Art Fight again as an excuse to kind of draw stuff I normally wouldn't, so like characters with body shapes or forms that I wouldn't normally draw, color palettes I wouldn't normally be attracted to, you know, if I was drawing characters for myself, that kind of thing. I'm not going to obviously have a big leap in like, oh, this changes who I am as an artist like I did last year. I wasn't expecting that from this year, but I do think for next year, because I'd like to do Art Fight again, providing it continues, it supposedly will. There was some stuff, the website got sold or handed off to other people. I don't know really what's going on there, but providing that it does happen again next year, like it says it does, the lesson I think that I learned from this year is not an artist's lesson, but an Art Fight lesson, which is that if you don't really, really love a character, don't have them on your profile. I don't want to sound like I'm ungrateful for the art that I received, because I love all of it, but Tipsy Whipsy is definitely my least favorite character of all of the characters that I have public. So getting the most drawings of her makes sense because she's sort of a Halloween theme. She's very simple, but I think next year I'm really gonna whittle it down to like just maybe 4 or 5 of my favorite characters, so I definitely need to spend some time between this year and next year bonding with my characters a little more, learning more about them, knowing which ones are the most important to me. I would like to take a minute really quick to touch on each of these drawings that I got because they're all amazing and I love them very much. This is On Guard from Artifacts, one of my world building projects where what if superheroes just had normal people bodies and superpowers haven't existed for very long. I really love that the artist captured his like smirk and how smug he is. I love their interpretation of the textures on his outfit. This drawing of Gilda from my Knights of Nod world building project, she looks so peaceful. I love that the artist like tried to draw her in her home, which is sort of like a ranch that she has. She just looks so happy, so peaceful at home at the homestead. This is the first animated attack I've ever gotten, and oh boy, is that really cool. This is a blinking drawing of my fursona TK, where they drew both their green and natural eyes and their pink I'm using magic eyes. Man, this is so cool. I can't get over it. This artist used traditional media to draw Tipsy Whipsy, which is just great. I love all of the different textures and the different materials that was used, and I love the little snooze sleep. Probably she got into like a little bit of trouble and then got tired afterwards. This artist drew my Cheshire Cat OC, Alex, from Knights of Nod, as the original Disney Cheshire Cat. Not the original, obviously, but, you know, the well-known one. And boy, if he knew who that was, he would be so flattered. I love the way they translated his design onto this character. It looks so cool. I got another animated attack. This one is of Tipsy Whipsy, and I love the way that they translated into this person's design so much that I want to practice drawing their face like this. So good. And finally, we have a revenge of Tipsy. She is looking comfy, she's looking relaxed, and she's looking like she's saying hello. Again, the different way the different artists interpreted her simple shapes was really interesting to me. Like, I feel like I'm going to be taking notes from these people drawing my characters on how to draw my own characters. And just to close out, thank you very much for watching. Artfight is a wonderful event, and I'm very grateful to have been able to participate this year and last year. It has been a wonderful learning experience and amazing to connect with other artists and really feel like I'm, I don't know, included in the club. I'm sorry if I sounded a little sad or a little sleepy during this recording. I've been having some issues this week, and that is why there is not a vlog. There is this video instead. But I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Drop a like if you did like it, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye!